Welcome to the deep dive. I've got a fascinating paradox for you today, something to really chew on. What if the very strengths that got you where you are, your drive, your smarts, that confidence, what if those are now maybe subtly holding you back?
Hmm. It's a powerful question.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into some personal study notes from Marshall Goldsmith's book, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, exploring exactly that idea.
And our mission really is to pull out the clear, actionable stuff for you from this material. Think of it like a shortcut, helping you not just remember what you learn, but actually use it day to day.
Yeah, adopt it into your life.
Exactly. We'll look at why really successful people sometimes hit a wall, plateau, and crucially, how you can spot and importantly, stop those habits that might be getting in your way, hindering your growth, maybe in your career, maybe just in daily interactions, even relationships.
And it's not about learning totally new things, is it?
No, not necessarily. It's more about refining what you've already got
Yeah.
by letting go of the behaviors that just aren't serving you anymore.
Yeah.
It's about subtraction, not just addition.
Okay, let's unpack that core idea then. Success blinding us. The notes talk about this. Well, like an internal GPS we all have, it guides us, helps us make sense of things.
Uh,
But for successful people, apparently this GPS can get a little skewed, leading you down paths that aren't actually helpful for what's next.
right. And what's really interesting is how that happens. The higher you go, the more successful you become, the more, well, everything you say might land like an order, not just your opinion.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that confidence, the thing that got you there, it can start looking like arrogance
Hmm.
or maybe dismissiveness. And that erodes goodwill pretty fast. Goldsmith calls it something like your internal behavioral proprioception, that gut feeling of where you stand.
Proprioception, like your body's sense of itself in space.
Kind of, yeah, but for behavior. Success messes with it. You start thinking, hey, it's working. Why change anything? It's this powerful, often totally unconscious illusion.
That's a great way to think about it. So if that internal GPS gets skewed, what are some of the first signs, those little ways a delusion starts showing up?
Well, the material points out a few classic pitfalls. Overestimating our own part in things,
Mhm.
for one, maybe even taking credit, maybe not even meaning to, from others.
Okay.
And then there's that very human thing of thinking we're way above average. You know that statistic Goldsmith mentioned, the 70-10 rule.
Oh, where 70% of people think they're in the top 10%.
Exactly. Mathematically impossible, right?
Yeah.
But so many of us fall for it. And we also tend to kind of brush past failures or,
Mhm.
avoid looking at hidden mistakes that are probably going to bite us later.
And what happens when someone actually tries to point these things out? Our ego just throws up shields, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost predictable. The notes highlight this pattern. First, you assume they're confused. Their perception's off, not my behavior.
Right. It's them, not me.
Then, if it gets really obvious it is you, denial kicks in. Look, if I were that bad, I wouldn't be this successful, right?
Makes sense, that rationalization.
And if that doesn't work, well, sometimes we just ignore it. Or, maybe worse, subtly attack the messenger, the person giving the feedback.
It's a tough loop. Goldsmith also talks about 4 key beliefs. They help create success, but then, paradoxically, they stop us from changing. First is just believing strongly in your past wins, right? Reliving them.
Yeah, that gives you confidence, sure, but it also cements the idea that your way is the only way, the perfect way.
Then number 2, overestimating our abilities compared to others. That feeds right into that 70-10 thing you mentioned.
Uh-huh. And third, discounting luck. Successful people often take smart risks, sure, but they tend to chalk all the success up to skill, forgetting maybe things just broke their way sometimes.
And the fourth one sounds big. The inability to say no, leading to just being totally overcommitted.
Oh, it's huge. Once you're successful, opportunities just flood in. If you don't step back and really ask, is this worth my energy, my team's energy? You just get swamped, stress, burnout.
Mhm.
It's almost inevitable.
And that's where bad habits creep in.
That's often where they start.
Mhm.
And then you get the notes call them illogical superstitious beliefs.
Yeah.
It's like thinking your lucky socks made you win the game just because you wore them.
Huh.
You confuse correlation with cause. I act this way, I get results. Therefore, I must get results because I act this way. And boom, you've accidentally baked in a bad habit.
When I first came across Peter Drucker's idea that leaders often need to figure out what to stop doing, not what new things to start doing, that really hit me. It feels backward almost. Why is stopping so powerful?
It is powerful and it's counterintuitive because, well, stopping bad stuff rarely gets you a pat on the back, does it? We reward doing good things, not doing bad things.
That's true. You don't get a bonus for not messing up.
Exactly. Maybe you feel good internally for stopping a bad habit, but getting that external praise, much harder, especially in a company. That's why this idea of shifting into neutral is so key. Sometimes just not saying something, not doing something, is way better than trying to force some positive action.
So inaction as a strategy.
Sometimes, yes. It's often easier to just stop being difficult than it is to suddenly become this incredibly positive person overnight. And look, as you move up, technical skills matter, sure, but they become less of the decider. It's the behavioral stuff, your EQ, your emotional intelligence, that really dictates how far you go.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And it leads us right into the practical bit spotting the actual habits we need to ditch. Let's dive into some common ones. First, winning too much. We've all seen it, maybe done it.
Oh, yeah?
That dinner party, friends telling a story, and you just have to jump in. Correct some tiny detail, offer a better way it could have gone, even when it adds zero value.
Totally. It's that compulsion to get the edge,
Mm.
even when there's no prize.
Mhm.
And it's especially damaging in personal relationships, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And related to that is value addition, that difficulty just listening without immediately throwing in your 2 cents.
Oh, I know that. Or, hey, here's a better way. We think we're helping, but Goldsmith makes a great point. Adding value when it wasn't asked for, it can actually kill the other person's enthusiasm for their own idea.
Really? How so?
Well, the tiny benefit your idea might add often drains their energy to actually do it, so you get a net loss. The simple trick, just take a breath. Ask yourself, is it really worth it? Often, you gain more by letting them own it.
That's smart. Okay, so let's say we manage not to jump in, we actually listen. Then we hit the next trap, judgment. Passing judgment right after someone gives you feedback, especially feedback you asked for.
Oof, yes, it just shuts people down instantly.
Hmm.
The advice here is to adopt this sort of neutral stance. Like a doctor diagnosing, no judgment
How
involved.
does that look in practice?
Simple responses work best. Thank you. Or, thanks, I hadn't thought of it that way. Maybe, thanks, that gives me something to think about. They keep the door open instead of slamming it shut.
And then there's just plain not listening, which feels so basic, but
It's fundamental.
yeah.
Being impatient, clearly not paying attention, people notice that immediately. It reads as rude, and they just start avoiding you. The notes say something like 80% of our success in learning comes from really, truly listening.
Wow, 80%.
Yeah. And it's not just hearing, it's full focus, making the other person feel like they're the only one in the room. If you think about your own interactions, these little things, these ingrained habits, they add up. They really chip away at trust.
So, okay, we've identified some of these sneaky, counterproductive habits we might need to let go of. But knowing is one thing, doing is another. What's the actual blueprint for change? How do we make these shifts stick?
Right. And this brings us to maybe the most crucial point.
Yeah,
What actually makes someone change?
the material is really clear on this. People only commit, truly commit, to changing when it's genuinely in their own self-interest.
Ah, the what's in it for me factor. Exactly. Unless you can answer that question for yourself, you're probably not going anywhere. People change when something they really value, could be money, power, status, relationships, whatever, is threatened. Or, alternatively, when they see a bigger opportunity that requires change.
Okay, that's the motivator. So what are the practical steps? Let's start with feedback. How do you get good feedback?
Goldsmith suggests being specific. Ask, how can I do better? Not just open-ended stuff like any feedback, which can get vague, or even, people might tell you what they think you want to hear.
And when you get it.
Rule 1, don't argue, don't explain, don't justify. Just say thank you. That's it. For unsolicited feedback, pay attention to those off-the-cuff remarks, watch body language, and maybe ask the people at home. Our patterns often show up everywhere.
That makes sense. Then there's
Yeah.
apologizing. Seems simple, but the notes stress its power.
Huge power. A genuine sorry gives closure. It can win you allies. When you get feedback on a mistake, the magic phrase is apparently, I am sorry, I will try to do better. And then silence. Don't add anything else. Because as the notes hilariously point out, you'll probably just mess it up if you keep talking.
Huh. Okay. Noted. Silence after the apology. What about telling everyone? Why is that important?
Because people see us through the lens of our past behavior, right? They have these preconceived ideas.
Yeah.
So you need to be explicit. Hey, I'm working on being a better listener, or whatever it is. Simple messages, repeated often. It takes time, months maybe, for people's perceptions to actually shift.
Consistency is key there.
Absolutely. And we have to come back to listening. We mentioned the 80% learning stat. It really is a call to action. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Listen fully. No composing your reply in your head. Make them feel important. And before you jump in, always ask yourself that question.
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Most of the time, what we're itching to say adds little value and might just cause problems.
Okay. And thanking.
Super simple. Provides closure. It's what people expect when they help you. Don't overthink it. A simple thank you is powerful.
And following up seems critical too. The gap between knowing and doing.
Oh, it's massive. You have to track your progress, get feedback from others regularly to see if you're actually walking the talk. The notes suggest asking yourself nightly questions about the things that matter most. Did I really listen today? Did I add value when it wasn't needed? Stuff like that helps build the new habit.
Right, making it concrete.
And finally, there's this really neat technique called feed forward.
Feed forward, not feedback.
Right. It's future-focused, not about dwelling on the past. Great for successful people who maybe don't love criticism. 4 steps. 1, pick one habit to change. 2, describe your goal simply. 3, ask for 2 suggestions for the future from others, or just brainstorm yourself.
Okay.
And 4, the crucial bit. Do not critique the suggestions. Just listen. Take them in. It's about gathering ideas for moving forward, not picking apart the past. These aren't just fixes. They're ways to actively build relationships and show you're serious about self-awareness.
Got it. So those are the individual actions, but how do you weave this into a bigger strategy? Make the changes really last.
Good question. The material lays out some key rules for implementation. First, focus your energy. Pick battles you can win, high-reward situations. Don't go for almost best.
Makes sense. Prioritize.
Second, be really clear. Is this a behavior issue or a skill issue? Don't waste time fixing the wrong thing. Third, resist the urge for quick fixes or getting sidetracked. Focus on the 1 or 2 core things that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Right. And rule 4.
Face the truth, especially the feedback from people close to you, friends, family. Don't live in denial. 5th, find simple ways to measure progress on these soft skills, like training for a race. Start small, track it, build up.
And 6th, I think you mentioned something about punishment.
Yes, consider a financial penalty. Put some skin in the game. Tell a friend, every time I interrupt, I owe you $5. Having that external accountability can be a surprisingly strong motivator. And the last rule is maybe the simplest, but hardest. The best time to start is now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It won't come.
That's always the kicker, isn't it? Start now. These apply to managing others too, right?
Absolutely. The notes touch on that. Be clear about your style and expectations.
Yeah.
Encourage different opinions. Don't just hire mini-me's. Don't force your own quirks on your team. Remember, explaining isn't enough. You need consistent follow-up.
And that last point seems vital.
Yes. You cannot make someone change if they don't believe they need to.
Yeah.
It has to come from them. Ultimately, if you connect all this, real lasting success, deeper relationships, they come from that ongoing commitment, being self-aware, humble, and willing to let go of the very things that once felt like your superpowers.
Wow. What an illuminating deep dive. The core message really lands. What got you here won't necessarily get you there. It's about spotting and actively stopping those old habits. Updating that internal GPS we talked about.
Precisely. And this whole conversation, this dive into the notes, it's meant to be that shortcut for you, giving you practical tools to think about your own habits, build stronger connections. The goal isn't just hearing it, it's recalling it, adopting it, making it part of how you operate.
So thinking about all this, what stands out to you listening right now? We really encourage you, take a moment, reflect. Can you identify maybe just one habit you'll consciously work to stop this week? Or maybe pick one person to try that feed-forward technique with?
And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. If you could shed just one of these subtle habits, one thing that might be undermining your effectiveness or your relationships, even just a little bit,
Yeah.
what might open up? What new opportunities, what deeper connections, what unexpected growth could become possible for you?